Tales of the Underworld. This is our third in the Star Wars Tales of series, following on from Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire. In many ways, this show is the best use of the format of 6 shorts about 2 characters. But in other ways, I feel as though there is still so little you can get out of these series when we are restricted to only 15 minutes per episode.
Should there be more to explore about than the mini arcs of the story's 3 episodes, whereas we can have multiple to explore each of the characters that we don't really know in the Star Wars universe. Not to not to go into gulp shito of all things like, oh my god, it's Amagundai. Sorry, Tom, I have to point that out to you. But yeah,
He got there before me.
I got you in the
you.
intro. And yeah, it's a lovely surprise that we have Tales of the World, but we are limited to 2 worlds of this universe that we have, like the 2 stories that we see. I would love to see multiple.
Yeah, I would love a 22 episode season with 20-minute episodes where each character gets at least, I don't know, 6 episodes to explore them. Star Wars Tales of can be so much more, and I'm very interested to get stuck into this latest installation. Cue the music.
This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
Oh my god, I just literally just got a notification saying playing music. No, that's me singing.
Just like Zoom and just telling you, can we do the music? Can we do something like no shush?
Right,
Yes,
okay,
Tales of the
so
Underworld.
welcome to the Out of Time Film Podcast. I'm Tom,
I'm John.
and this week, as we said, it is Tales of the Underworld time.
Tales of the Underworld time. It sounds like a weekly occurrence thing. It's like it's Tales of the Underworld time. We gotta go explore more of the world.
It's,
the Gonk Droid. Oh my god, the
Yes!
Gonk Droid.
It's our yearly bit show. And now we return to the Tales of the Underworld.
I just love when Star Wars just throws out something like, here's the tales of the things that you don't know, but we do know.
It was May 4th. You've always got to have something on May 4th. Those
Yeah,
are the
May
rules
4th.
now.
Imagine at Lucasfilm, there's someone just like trying to think of something. We gotta have something for May the 4th. We gotta do something. How about Cad Bane or something? I mean, it's pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's funny. It kind of sounds last minute, but it's not. We have a lot more Star Wars stuff that has been announced, which I was worried for Star Wars Celebration because I was like, what are they going to announce for Star Wars Celebration? The Razor Crest story? How the Razor Crest was built or something?
The Razor Crest is coming back in The Mandalorian and Grogu, so somehow
Somehow.
it returns.
Somehow
But
it
we'll
returns.
never know. We'll never know.
The fun begins here, yeah.
I was very blindsided by this. And we all know the format. This time, one of our 3 shorts is about Ventress. She meets a young Jedi on the run and he helps him out and regains some of her empathy. And then on the other side, you've got Cad Bane. You get his origin story, living as a street rat and then becoming a mercenary. And you get him losing his empathy and becoming very self-centered. As always, these shorts mirror each other. We always get in these Tales of series, they're always about people on similar paths who choose different sides. In Tales of the Jedi, we see 2 Jedi. One chooses the light, one chooses the dark. In Tales of the Empire, it's the same thing. It's people who join the Empire when they're lost, and it's whether they do or don't choose to go down an already dark path. Dark and light, classic Star Wars stuff. And in this show,
Classic.
it's the same. Cad Bane and Ventress are both ingrained in this underworld. Their only allegiance has been to whoever pays the highest price. They've both been bounty hunters. And for both of them, that represents freedom. But I think what's interesting is the different ways they choose to act moving forward. Bane severs all of his connections with his old and new allies because he believes that power, vengeance, and money are more important. Whereas Ventress chooses to go out of her way to help this young Jedi she meets. And I really enjoy, even if it is only for 45 minutes, we get to stick into that a little bit.
Yeah, it is a good story to explore after Order 66 with the second short, the grandfather at the desert somewhere with the battle droids. It's all about the past and how you're leaning back to it. You're always backtracking to the things that, you feel like we must fight them, we must protect ourselves. But there's that certainty of change, there's that bit of hope in Star Wars. I love that. It's just the thing of hope that always circulates relates to Star Wars, especially in Andor. We can't just stop talking about Andor. So
Next week.
next week.
Everyone play Brasso. Get excited for next week's podcast.
Hell yeah, we're gonna be dancing all the way through
Yeah.
and cry.
But yeah, I really like that idea of some people can't move on, and what does that do? We've seen that quite a few times in Star Wars as well. Do you let go? Do you move forward? Or are you consumed by your hatred? Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, perfect example. Maul was consumed by his hate and he couldn't let that go. Obi-Wan moved above it. And I think I would maybe argue that the Ventress shorts are the best stint of Tales of series so far. We talked about in the last couple of series, and you can listen to our reviews on both of those, about how each set of shorts have the standout episode. It's the one with Dooku and Yaddle. It's the one with Ahsoka doing all the training. It's the one with Barriss leaving behind the life of the Inquisitor. It's the one with Morgan on the Night Sister genocide. They've all got those amazing ones, but they struggle to find true coherence. But I think that the first 3 episodes of this series with Ventress, because they're all one story and they don't jump in time each episode, they tell a continuous narrative. I really enjoyed that. You see her and the Jedi Lyko become friends, and it kind of felt like a mini arc of the Clone Wars, and it includes the same action and planet hopping, but unlike the other Tales of series, you get to zoom into a moment in time and 2 characters at the same point in their life every episode. And I really appreciated it, and it addressed a criticism with this format that I don't think we'd ever get to see. Even if I did still think it was too short, I appreciated more that instead of just getting 15 minutes, we get 45 minutes to actually focus on one story rather than jumping along.
Yeah, it's funny that, again, Andor does this differently. It's the 3-episode arc. I think that's an interesting format to go to, but however, Andor is longer episodes. They explore a lot of things.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
those episodes.
You get 1 episode of Andor is the same as 3 episodes of Tales of.
Yes.
You know, like an arc in Andor is almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's like a movie. So with Tales, it's just annoying, short time that we don't to explore these characters. But the Ventress stuff, great. There's no time jump for this. You get to actually feel in the moment with these characters. They get to connect with each other. However, in Cad Bane, it is a cool backstory, but it spans across years and it's annoying.
Yeah.
You don't really get to feel the weight of his journey. It just feels very short. It doesn't really feel gratifying. But there is some emotional beats in Cad Bane's story, especially towards the end. He believes in power, he believes in respect, he believes all of that to gain attention, that, you know, all the stuff that he grew up as a trash rat, you know, all the things that he had to go into this life of gangs and into bounty hunting. So it's very interesting stuff, but again, it's very short. It's a very short limited time. We don't really get to settle in with those emotions along the way. We're like, oh wow, okay, he's going through a lot.
Yeah, I agree. It is good stuff, but I was definitely less invested. When I saw the trailer, I was a bit like, oh, Cad Bane origin, okay. I mean, I love Cad. I love his demeanor, his look, his code of coldness, and he'll kidnap children. He'll murder innocents. You know, he'll sacrifice his own allies to get what he wants. And we literally see that in his first 4 episodes in the Clone Wars. Like, they never held back with him. And in his shorts, we get exactly that, but not much more. We see a tragic origin, and it is tragic. You see him and his friend go in different paths, and I think that's quite heartbreaking. They develop that well. Like with Ventress, the fact that we followed 2 characters and their bond rather than just one, it adds levels to these shorts that elevate them above the other Tales of series. But at the same time, it didn't tell me anything about Cad that I didn't already know. Just that he wasn't a scumbag for most of his life, because who is? It didn't blow me away as much as I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. It just didn't have enough time to do anything with that. But I do love how it feels different. I mean, again, for you, Tom, you must know a lot about all the stuff that happened in the Clone Wars. I haven't watched it, so all the things that happened, you know, with Cad Bane or Ventress. There's a lot more to discover. That's funny to me because I didn't feel as interested with Cad, because I feel like he appears out of nowhere. You know him. He appears out of nowhere in Star Wars. He's just like, I'm here. I'm gonna do some evil things. I'm gonna shoot up everything.
It's like Book of Boba Fett, where he just literally walks out of the desert, just like he disappears, and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Cad Bane, and I'm here for 2 episodes."
I'm Cad Bane, the guy from Star Wars. You know, he just starts shooting everything, and then here's my gong droid, and
damn you, John.
I love the gonk droid, okay?
You and the gonk.
Okay.
I'm saying it. We got to start a petition to Lucasfilm. Star Wars Tales of the Gonk. Do it for
Tales of the
John.
Gong. Can it be like a cute animated series of this Gong that just stumbles upon the most important things in Star Wars history, trying to live a peaceful life, but gets into the most messed up things in Star Wars?
So you're pitching Forrest Gump, but it's Gonk, and he actually
Yes!
weaves
Yes.
his way through Star Wars history.
Yes.
Brilliant. They got to get back the guy who voiced the Gonk in Rebuild the Galaxy, Michael Cusack. Get him to voice it. That's perfect. I'm there.
And then he accidentally boards the Death Star, and he's like,
No!
"Oh,
It's like that Robert Pattinson movie where the final shot is him on the top of the Twin Towers, and it like zooms out. That's what it is.
imagine this is the Gong droid that he just
No,
sees
genuinely.
the entire Millennium Falcon that just comes into frame. It's like, oh, I hope nothing bad."
Oh no. Back to Tales of the Underworld. And
Yes,
also
Tales of-
talking...
yes, we got sidetracked there. Yep, yeah.
When it comes to Cad Bane, they could have so easily done an episode about Cad in the Clone Wars, and then one about him during the time of the Empire, and then one about him during the reign of the New Republic. Just like for Morgan Elsbeth and Tales of the Empire. And I liked what they did for Cad. It does succeed where those Elsbeth shorts failed. But in this case, I think maybe they should have gone with the easy choice. We don't really need to see Cad Bane's shocking origin. It didn't add anything to the character for me, and I think what might have been more interesting, and this is not an original thought here, but would be to see his relationship with Boba Fett. We see the two together at the end of Book of Boba Fett, and they reference a past together, you know, how Cad trained Boba as a boy, and then the two fell out. There's a lot of that. It's like, well, isn't that the quaff to calling the stifling slimy? And then like Boba's like, I'm not your boy anymore, Cad. I'm gonna kill you with a gaffy stick. And that's what we get. But we've never seen that. I think the two interacted like once in the Clone Wars. And then there were some unfinished arcs that we never got to see, which was that relationship. This was the perfect time to explore that. We didn't have to see that story exactly, but we could have gotten stories about Cad and Boba crossing each other at different points. And then maybe the final short could have been Cad getting hired by the Pikes to fight Boba in Book of Boba Fett. There's just so much of that story that we just don't know. And I don't think that seeing Cad as a child and a young man and how he stole his look from somebody else like he's Indiana Jones was worth seeing over Boba stuff. I don't think it's like a fanboy wish. I think this is genuinely the story that is more important to tell. These Tales of series, they fill gaps, they add texture to the world, to the lore. But like, what's the point if you're just adding an origin story that doesn't add much, really? Like, oh my god, spoilers now, Cad Bane has a son. He's a deadbeat dad. But it's like, what a twist. That doesn't change anything about how I see him at all.
Yeah. Regarding all of that, what you said, I'm just like nodding in agreement over everything. With that twist at the end, I was like, oh, he has a son. But then again, with all the things that happened so far with Cad Bane that I know, he's just an evil guy. Are they trying to emphasize with this dude, like, of course, he's just an awful father then. He's just like, oh, I have a kid, but then doesn't do anything about it. He just walks away. As Cad Bane does, he just walks somewhere. I just prefer the Ventress stuff, really.
Yeah,
I think that was just so interesting to see how she tries to stumble across in this new world of the Galactic Empire just taking over.
There is some really cool Western influences on the Cad Bane stuff that I thought was quite sweet. But I agree. The Ventress stuff mostly is the peak of the show.
Especially the whole story from Dark Disciple was actually in the show because it's on Ventress. I believe we did talk about Ventress on the podcast somewhere about Bad Batch, how she's back, Resurrection. That opening for the first shot was pretty cool. We get to see Ventress being resurrected, and that's a great way to think about, like, oh, that's how she's back in Bad Batch. Again, it's just about the connections that are happening, and also the books. The books are so tied into the stories in Star Wars that we know, and it's pretty cool to see that connection. Like, oh my god, I'm a nerd. I know all those connections. I haven't read Dark Disciple, so I'm not taking a jab at anyone. Reading is good, everybody. Please read.
Do more reading, guys. Dark Disciple is fantastic. I have read it. I think it's brilliant. I recommend it greatly. John, I will let you borrow my copy when it's out of storage.
Out of storage.
Yeah, but it's really, really great. You get some really crucial development for Ventress in that story. She falls in love with Quinlan Voss, and she chooses the light side after years of spiraling down the dark and finding betrayal from everyone who she works with, from Dooku and from the entire Separatist Alliance. She doesn't trust anyone, and they don't trust her. And I wasn't sure when we saw her back in Bad Batch they would actually address the book, because Tales of has a bit of a bad history with this. When they rebooted canon, they said, okay, everything counts, everything matters. And there have been a few times when we've been like, you know what, actually, it doesn't. Even in Andor, we have seen the comic about how Cassian and K2SO met overwritten. But it was just cool to see Dark Disciple front and center. Rest in peace, fans who've never read that book. They would be confused as hell. But, I love that they actually went, yeah, no, the ending of the book remains intact, but then there is a future after that. And I thought it was interesting how she gets the chance to live at the expense of her love, which is a very Star Wars thing.
Yeah, he's like, at what cost?
Also, this show introduces a new Inquisitor. Which one?
Yes!
I'm sure one day they'll find out. And you
Yes.
know what really grinds my gears, John? Boy, if I had a nickel for every time that Star Wars introduces a new Inquisitor with a cool design and a cool lightsaber and a cool voice, and they have one action scene and then they die. Can we please keep the Inquisitors around for a bit longer? I was so sure that we were going to see 3 episodes of Ventress and Lyco being tailed by this Inquisitor. But he dies in episode 1! In episode 1!
It's okay, Tom. It's okay.
Come on, man.
It sucks when an Inquisitor dies that quick, because in Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi... Well, Obi-Wan. Kenobi. The Kenobi show, the guy from Star Wars.
You know him, Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi. Yeah, in that show, you get to see Inquisitors a lot more. They're a larger presence in the story, and they're very cool, and they don't die as easily. Especially that one Inquisitor who comes back from the dead. He's like, that one quote that Tom really likes.
Revenge does wonders for the will to live.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, damn, the Inquisitors are badasses but evil, and in this one, they just die straight away. So it's like, what's the law about these guys? Who are they? So, yeah.
Okay, in all fairness, we do get a lot of Inquisitor stuff in Star Wars Rebels. I know you haven't seen that, John. They are a presence in the first seasons of that show. As you said, they're also a presence in Kenobi, Jedi Fallen Order. Fantastic Inquisitor stuff in that game. Brilliant. So maybe even the best Inquisitor story with the third sister. We get that one Inquisitor in Ahsoka who dies and becomes the Green Mist. Marek. Yeah. He is going to be in the new animated show, Maul Shadow Lord. I saw the trailer at Star Wars Celebration. So, we do get more Inquisitor stuff. Tales of the Empire, we had Inquisitors. But the point is, there are too many times that we've introduced an Inquisitor just for them to die so fast. Ahsoka, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld. Just stop. The idea of the Inquisitors is such a cool one. It might be one of my favorite ideas in the new canon. I love it. But it becomes less and less exciting if there's 50 Inquisitors and they all die. I like the idea of there being 10 or 15 and they're incredibly difficult to kill. But in this one, we get a Jedi Padawan, maybe even a youngling just killing one. And that felt just a bit boring to me.
Yeah, perhaps they come back somehow. They came back again. This is the issue about Tales, is that there's more stuff that we could have explored in the Tales in the Underworld. Tom, who do you want to see?
Well, speaking of Kenobi, this is an interesting one. We know our next animated show is Maul Shadow Legends. Sorry, Maul Shadow Lord. Stupid title. I'm sorry. Call it Shadow Lord or something, guy. Anyway, I'm excited. It looks cool. But this show reminds you of the Hidden Path. Now, we first learned about the Hidden Path in Kenobi, and then we got it in Jedi Survivor, and it's now mentioned in this show, and there's probably more instances that I'm thinking, what is this? What is this, Lucasfilm? And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Could we be leading up to a Hidden Path series? We know that Quinlan Vos is part of it. He was mentioned in Kenobi and in Tales of the Underworld. We know that Ventress and Quinlan Vos will eventually reunite. We know that Cal Kestis is working for the Path. Maybe that's how Grogu was sheltered for all those years between Order 66 and The Mandalorian. It could all be related to the Hidden Path. Is that something that you would like to see? A show about hiding Jedi and protecting them during the Empire time? What's your take on the next animated show? What do you want to see after more Shadow Legends?
Yeah, something like that. Something like how the Jedi keep on going during the reign of the Empire.
There's loads of people we could see, and I think that's really exciting. You could get Kelleran Beck, you could get Reva. What happened to her after that show? The Hidden Path seems like an obvious option. I'm a Gundai. Now, here's the thing about I'm a Gundai. You can.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm a
I
Gundai.
didn't
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
I
I
wasn't
just
even
get.
going anywhere with that. I just have to get you every time.
I'm a Gundai,
Every
but the
time.
Gunga Droid. I believe we talk about the I'm a Gundai or Gunga Droid every Star Wars thing.
I
Like
make sure
people,
we do.
people, bring your bingo cards every time we do a Star Wars episode. You'll
Yes.
say I'm a Gundai or Gunga Droid or
The
something
question
Star Wars that
is,
we were.
can we do it for Andor? Is that too much? Andor
We
is a
can
very serious
we could
show. It's not.
we could do like a Word document. Like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's all the things for
Yeah.
this. So
There it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Um.
Okay, final point. Do you think this is the best Tales of series?
No. Well, I do like the adventure stuff. That was the strongest
Mhm,
point
mhm.
of it. That's hard. I can't remember much of Jedi or Empire. I think no Empire. I think Empire is the best
Okay.
one. No, sorry, no, Jedi. Jedi is the best one. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it has the highest highs, and giving us more of Dooku was amazing. Even if we did have more of Ahsoka, which we didn't really need, but the Dooku stuff was fantastic. And those 3 episodes probably make it the best series. But this one is more consistent, as I said earlier, but it doesn't hit the highs of the other season. There was no episode where I was like, this makes it worth it. Like, I was invested, I was interested, but I wouldn't lose anything if this show didn't exist. So, what are you going to give Tales of the Underworld out of 10?
6.
I think I'm also going to go for a 6. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you're listening on YouTube and you enjoyed it, you can like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can follow and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. And next week, we're back. We're so back, baby.
We're so back.
Andor, A Star Wars Story,
Oh
Season
my God.
2.
We're excited but depressed at the same time. We just don't know what's going to happen. We might be crying in the next week. We might tear apart and just like, but yeah, Andor, it's peak. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm just,
Yeah.
by this time tomorrow, it'll all be over, or it'll just be starting. And you can send us an email at outoftimefilmpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on Andor, and we'll answer it right here in the podcast next week.
Cool. And you can follow us on Instagram at Out of Time Film Pod to see our incredible thumbnails from Zain Afzal, on Twitter for more thoughts from Tom, and TikTok to see edited clips, which are all also on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And you can find links to that all in the description below. Thanks to Jones-Meyer for the excellent theme, and Ronan Phillips for focus as always. I think that's everything. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.